Is Figma dead? Did AI tools like Cursor completely eliminate the need for designers? There's been a lot of chatter on the internet lately debating this topic. Now, in my opinion, absolutely not. I love designers. Figma's a great tool. However, I do believe that design and development can go hand in hand, and you can learn how to use some of the new AI tools to improve your design process, even if you're not an expert level designer. I'm going to walk you through a step-by-step process to go from a basic prototype into a polished, professional looking design in just under an hour. Plus, I'm going to teach you the 5 magic words, the dirtiest of dirty little secrets that I have. You're going to hate me when I say this, that every developer needs to know in order to improve their design skills. Hey guys, I'm back again. And I wanted to share a new video that is basically building off the last video. If you haven't gone and checked that out, highly recommend it. I'll go ahead and put a link up somewhere. I don't use YouTube a lot, but let's put it up in the corner or something. You can go ahead and click that and check out that video from last time. But basically what we did is we started with a long prompt to deep research to get a markdown checklist of a bunch of one-story items for the agent to go and do. And then when we were able to put that into Cursor on agent mode, it basically just went step by step by step, and it built out an entire front end for my application. So I did that last week, and then again on Friday for another part of my project, I did the same thing. And now the next step is I need to actually make this look nice, right? So what we did here, so here's just an example of the dashboard app that we created. You can use that technique, created this in about an hour. The great thing is this is a repeatable thing. This wasn't just a one-time, one-shot kind of issue for a specific item. This is something that you guys can use on a daily basis. Anytime you're starting a new project or just want a new component or something like that, this is a really great way to do this. All right, so one problem we have with this dashboard is, it's kind of boring, right? Like, it's not bad. It's using kind of standard Tailwind UI stuff, which is what I told it to do. It's okay. It's just not that interesting, right? So what we want to do is add in a lot more polish, a lot more of the front end work here. Again, the long-term vision is we want to get the front end looking as nice as possible, share that with our stakeholders, make any changes we need to in this environment before we actually go through and build out the API layer, all the database. That stuff is actually pretty easy once you have all the front end in place for a lot of these applications. But if you start to mess with the back end and the data schema, and you're running migrations and you're changing the front end all over the place and adding features, it's just a lot easier to get everything done up front and work your way down instead of vice versa, which is kind of how I've always done it in the past and run into some problems with that. So I want to try this new approach. I think it's going to work really well. All right, so again, here's our basic design. And in order to create the next level of polish and design for this, normally I would go to OpenAI and use one of the most advanced models, O1 Pro, maybe Deep Research. But when it comes to design, the OpenAI models are actually terrible. They're really bad. I don't know if you tried it, but what's really good though is Anthropic, and specifically our old go-to Claude Sonnet.new.36, whatever the heck this thing is. Sonnet is actually really good at design. It's shocking to me how good it is based on this prompt that you'll see here. But let's do some things to kind of help it out, right? We can't just say make it look amazing and it knows what to do with the whole checklist. So here's what we did. Basically started with the basic prompt engineering. You're an award-winning designer. You're going to build the most amazing thing ever, right? The next piece we did here is something that I've been experimenting with lately, which is this idea of providing a rubric to the models. Now, specifically, this works great for the reasoning models because it kind of gives them a goal and kind of a more of a structured way to think about a problem, as opposed to, if it's not like a math or reasoning problem. And design is one of those, right? Like, there are kind of hidden rules to design, and you can start to express those in the form of this rubric. Now, going to show you something. This is a tool I built just internally for my own purposes, but honestly, you guys can build this yourself, or there's just kind of a simple prompt in the background. This is just a little helper for me. But basically, you come in here and you just describe it, and you say something like, I want a rubric for, design best practices for front end, really short. Again, you guys can write a prompt to do this. And basically what it does is it kind of gives you this A through F, category of and then all of these, different topics. And so, for example, for a color palette, you come up with a color palette. An F grade is you choose them at random, and an A grade, they're masterfully integrated, right? Same thing across the board. And so the idea is that you basically give this rubric to the LLM, and you say, don't give me an answer until it reaches an A level across the board. Again, this works better for the reasoning models, but it's just kind of good best practices to you want to kind of guide that latent space. You want to be in the right starting point. It just helps to get better results, okay? I want to go into that in more detail in a later video, but for now, just this is something you can optionally use. You don't have to use it. All right, next up is we need to tell Claude, what's our code base look like? And again, one of the nice things about just doing the front end is your code base isn't crazy big, right? You can mostly fit it into a single prompt. Using our old buddy repo prompt here. If you guys haven't tried this, or it's repoprompt.com, try it out. Still kind of in beta. Does one thing for me, it does it really well. I think there's a lot of stuff it does. Honestly, I don't use that. Sorry, repo prompt. But this thing works really well, which is just to grab some of your files, right? You can sort by your high to low tokens. So anything that pops up on the top that you don't need, you can get rid of it. Things like public, screenshots, you don't want to grab all this junk. Very easy to just kind of take all those, and then you just, you can see here we've only got 30 K tokens, which will fit into the context window, no problem. Just go ahead and copy it, and then just paste it in. Again, I'm using XML tags for this. You probably don't. You could use Markdown. You could do some other things. All right, see if I can grab this. Notice I'm using the Anthropic dashboard instead of going straight to Claude. You can go straight to Claude. I don't have a Claude account, so I just kind of use the workbench. I don't know. This is my weird Debbie thing. All right. I can move this around. Okay, I'm gonna move this just for a sec to show you these instructions. Okay, so this is again just like your most basic dumb prompt engineering. You're a world-class designer. But the specific part is you want to output your design task as a series of very specific actions a front-end developer would take, and each one should be about one story point, right? We want to keep it scoped. Include the specific file name, right? You want to give Cursor a little bit of help to find the right place to go and do the thing, right? And the output should be a markdown checklist with each task unchecked, a numbered markdown checklist. Numbers are actually really important because you can refer to it by number later, okay? So I hit go. This was actually pretty fast, but just, it's right here. You get this markdown thing, okay? We got our markdown thing, and you just copy and paste this, right? Well, not the whole thing. Anyway, copy, paste, and then bring it into Cursor. I'm going to tell you a little quick trick here. You see this VS Code? When I was first learning Cursor, I was so conditioned to just open up VS Code, and I felt weird using a different editor. And someone gave me the tip of if you take Cursor and you change the icon and the name of it, mentally it kind of helps you just to get in the habit of using it. And so I did that, and the icon changed as the app got updated, but I always left it as that. So anyway, you don't have to do that. It's just the dumb Kevin thing. Okay, so what do we do here? Okay, so we are going to into our Cursor task. I think, did I already paste this in here? Yeah. So again, you can call this whatever you want. This is a markdown file. Now we pasted in. Oh, this is my old one. Sorry. So let's actually do this. Let's grab this. Copy and paste. Okay. So actually, let me do one thing real quick before I do this. We had a little bit of helper text. Again, this is from the last video if you guys want to check this out. Had a little bit of helper text here just to kind of kick this thing off. Let's get rid of all this. Oh, there we are, cursor tasks.md. Okay, so it's already pointing to this. Let's just clear this out just to make sure we've got the right version of this in the memory. Okay, and this is just kind of like, again, a little bit of helper. Let's get rid of this. Here we go. Okay. Now, we're just going to add this file in here. Composer. We're going to say, basically, go through each task in this list. Action release task, update it, check it off. Run builds and commits after each task so that we have a stopping point, right? If you get tangled up, you can always just like quickly undo it using Git, as opposed to, I find going back and restoring like kind of works, but you can get real tangled real quick and you can lose data. And I just use the tools you have that already work. And for me, that's Git. All right, continue with each task after each story. Do not take a screenshot. I have a screenshotting tool that I need to tweak. I'll show more about that in a sec. And then, I've got this, again, I've got another video, I'll point up to the top there. You guys check that out, of making an MCP, custom MCP tools. So I'm using some of these if it needs it. In this case, probably doesn't, but just for reference sake. Okay, we got agent set here. Always use Sonnet for the agent, it's so good. All right, and then let's just kick this off. Okay, so again, hopefully you watched the last video, you understand Storybook, kind of what we're doing. It's just this visual way to view your code. Let's see, where's my Storybook? Okay, so here's my Storybook, okay? And in the background, we're going through and we're just going step by step by step, a whole bunch of these design tasks, okay? And I'm just gonna leave this here just for a sec. Now, as it's kind of working and saving, we might see this update, we might not, depending on what the task, oh, there we go. So we just saw a little bit of a tweak here. Some of the, some of the fonts kind of changed. I don't see anything else really here. And we can kind of see what we're doing. We're just making some changes here to Tailwind. See, we're adding in some fonts. We added in this Geist. This is the Vercel open source. Inter's a nice one. You can give guidance to this if you want. I'll show you a quick trick that I did here, which is if you go to, oh, that's something else. Let me just go to my ChatGPT. Using deep research, I know it's a $200 thing, like not everybody has this, but it is very useful for a lot of different things. And in this case, I asked for some font pairings from Google Font that I could use. Again, I'm not a professional designer. We're taking advantage of some of these tools to be able to give us some really good recommendations for different like font pairings and things. And so again, these are all Google. You could probably just search the web. You can probably find some of these, but it's just nice to be able to use a tool like this to be able to get some of these design insights in. Same thing with the rubric. We're really trying to take advantage of the AI, not only to do the work for us in the coding, but also to kind of get the best of the design insights and professional design, as much as we can to kind of work it into our system. Okay, let's see. It's kind of hard to tell the difference between these. I actually took a screenshot of our old version here, so not too much has changed yet. I think the fonts are a little bit different, but it's going to keep working behind the scenes. Okay, it stopped here. We want to run a build. Now, I've got some, my YOLO settings say only run safe stuff, so I'm going to just say run it, and this is a safe command. Also, commits and build are safe, so always run them. All right. Okay, so now it's just going to go, right? And we're just kind of checking out a few things here. So again, it's just kind of messing with the fonts a little bit. Some base typography is kind of applying some of these things in here. Just little things here. Notice, and what's nice about this is, we're starting to just get a lot more kind of professional level of polish into this application. This isn't just a bunch of junky HTML and a bunch of, if you just kind of let this thing go, it'll start giving all sorts of Tailwind stuff, and it'll be like slightly off here and there. And so this is just going to give us a much cleaner, nicer way to do it. Notice we got these little checkpoints here. We say exactly what we did, and then it's got a little update. and it should have, let's see here, should have checked off. Yep, there it goes. So it checks off these as it goes. And this is great. This thing, let's see here. Would you like to continue? Yes. Let's try this. Yes, and please just keep going. Don't ask me. It'll still ask me, right? I guess it's just kind of trying to do this, but that, just kind of keep this going as much as it can. I really wish there was like permanent YOLO mode where it would just go, no matter what. And you can always stop it at any time. But for something like this, because I actually find that like this will just keep going, and it works really nicely. Like it just keeps on track because we have a really clean set of kind of tightly defined stories here, and it's just going to go through and do all this stuff. All right, so let's see what it's doing here. Okay, so so we updated our primary here with these. I don't know what these numbers are, but it said it's blue. I assume it's blue. So it's going to do that. Same thing with secondary. All this stuff, success warning. Kind of a neat trick. I actually didn't know this about Tailwind before, where you just set this default. So you can just do dash, blue or error or something like that. That's kind of cool. Okay, so what else we do? Got some utilities here. Oh, this is cool. Look at this. It's like doing, accessibility testing, things like that, where it's starting to pull these things in. Again, this is like a level of design polish that, for a production level type of code base, this would take a long time to kind of go through and do all of these things. And a lot of these are often kind of a little bit like chore kind of things. And if you're trying to get things off the ground quickly, maybe you skip over these. Maybe you end up in a place where your design starts to drift over time. When you can start from like day one and not have to spend a week doing this, but you can spend an hour or two, just think of how much better your applications are going to be longer term for this production level type of code base that we're hopefully building out here. All right, so again, it's going to just keep going through here. It's going to check. You guys don't want to sit here for the next hour and watch this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and just pause here, and I'll jump back and show you kind of the next step once we finish this up. All right, guys, we're back. It's been about maybe 30, 45 minutes since we last left off here, and in this time, Cursor basically went through and all 25 or so of those tasks, it went through and checked them out. And here's what we have. So, just right off the bat, you can kind of see how much more polished and kind of production ready this app looks. It's got a nice header up here. It's got some options. We have drag and drop for these Kanban cards. They look a lot cleaner and nicer. Just as a reminder, I think, where is it? Here's our screenshot. So this is what it looked like before, right? And here. So a lot, this is like your basic kind of just dev style, like right out of the UI kit. This just feels a lot more professional and polished and nice. We still have some room to go here, so I want to show that next step. But before I do, I want to point out a few other things that it did here that are really nice. In terms of what we built out here to make this more production ready. So one of the things that it did was, started adding in a lot of these extra features, things like an error boundary, right? So normally with React or with Next, if you run into an error, you get that super ugly screen that pops up, takes over the whole page. But if you put in error boundaries, you can basically present a nice error. And so, it's funny because Cursor built this for me, and I was like, what is this thing? And I started clicking. Like, I'll keep clicking. And then, look at that. So basically, it came up with this test harness for showing off this error boundary, which is so cool, right? It's got a custom fallback here. If you want to do a custom message, HOC support. So it did a lot of this work behind the scenes that's, really kind of nice, and you get this for free using Cursor, which is awesome. Added all these different loading buttons here automatically. Added these little skeletons, right? This is so cool. You can actually see this in action. I think if you refresh this, you see how you get those little skeletons of the cards. All of these things. It's so cool. Your theme aware toast, right? So these are our little toast things. We have light mode. Here's our theme toggle. We're going to make dark mode. Bing. Got a little spinner there. That's weird. But anyways, you can see how this is. Yep, it's dark mode now. So, you get all this stuff all set up here. Dark mode support. And then what's really cool at the very end, it basically built this whole design system overview. And what's nice about this, not only is this nice for other developers or designers who are coming into this your code base, but you can point cursor at this, right? So if in the future it can know how to do some of these things, you can copy paste this into prompts. Having this meta documentation is kind of underrated capability of cursor, and something I'm still kind of exploring. So would love to dive into this more. But again, to get this stuff for free out of the box, this kind of production level work that's being done here is so nice. And so again, to get it in about an hour's worth of work. That's awesome. Now, one thing that is not great here is it's still kind of boring, right? It's fine, but you can take the next step here and use a trick that I use all the time, take advantage of cursor and it's kind of ability to do design. And I'll show you my little trick here in a sec. All right, guys, I am back. It is a new day. I've changed into a slightly different shirt. And so it's been about an hour that since we last stopped recording. And I want to walk through basically exactly what I've done to improve this design. So first of all, this is 100% of the vibe coding. I've changed maybe 1 or 2 lines of code here, but for the most part, this is all just Sonnet doing its thing, okay? And I'm going to teach you the dirtiest of dirty little secrets that I have. You're going to hate me when I say this, but this is the key to actually going from a very mediocre design to a slightly less mediocre design. Still isn't professional design. I don't want all the designers coming after me. I love designers. I've worked with some amazing designers in the past. This is not close to what they can do, but it is better than probably 80 to 90% of just kind of the standard stuff that's out there. And once you see how easy this is, you're going to use this for everything. My method is called ISMIP, which stands for It Sucks, Make It Pop. Okay? Now, this is my joke with my designer friends. It's I'd always go and we'd be doing a design review, and I'd be like, nah, make it pop, man, make it pop, which they hated me for, and I know. But I just basically all we're doing is we are guiding the LLM to say, hey, make some changes. What you have here isn't quite good enough, make it better. And this doesn't work with every LLM. In fact, Sonnet is the only one that I found even comes close to doing a decent job with this. And again, I'll let you guys judge. Design is very subjective. Maybe you love the first version. But personally, I think it works really well, and it's so fast and easy. And honestly, if it doesn't work, you go back and you can try it again, right? That's what all these restores are in here. There's a really nice workflow for this ISMIP process. Fix the Kanban column. It sucks. Make it pop. Okay. So what does that Kanban column look like? Let me see if I can find it here. Here it is. Completed. Okay, it's not the full screen. Okay, then actually, so it's fine. It's kind of gray. It's got a little bit of a background. And so what do we do here? It went off. It did some stuff. We got a little chevron that rotates. We have a sophisticated color palette. Okay, so we did all that stuff. Let's take a look at what happened here. So here's that card, which looks pretty good. Let's move on to the column. And whoa, it's tilted. Why is it tilted? That's so funny. I don't know why it's tilted. It's not tilted in the regular thing. Anyway, it's kind of showing you this in progress, this completed. Yeah, it's kind of funny that it's the story is tilting it like that just to make it pop. I guess you made it pop, bro. I love it. But honestly, I think it does look better. It's got this little status here. We've got these chevrons. We can change this around. We've got these different states here. We've got a little empty state here. It's great. This is great. I'm loving this. This looks really nice, super clean. And so let's just keep going, right? We got the dashboard header. All right. This one was in the components and we didn't have any stories, so I did that. ISMIP, right? Come on, bro. So we got the header. Let's check this out. Move my ugly mug out of the way. What do we got here? All right, so here we go. So this is cool. Do you remember what this looked like before? Let's show it. Because this actually was one of my least favorite parts of the app. It looks really junky. Oh, we didn't have a picture of this. But we can go back to the original screen. Oh, we didn't have the original. Anyway, trust me, it looked terrible before. You probably saw it just like 30 seconds ago. This was like, yesterday for me. But you can see here, we got these nice little info cards here. We got these little micro, graphics. Very clear separation of some of the actions here, and pretty subtle. Like it's a pretty subtle little thing here. I love how Storybook will give me these things. We have dark mode. That doesn't look right for dark mode. Anyway, but for the most part, like this is pretty slick. And Storybook again. Lots and lots of stuff that I would never do myself because it takes a lot of time, but is really nice to have in here long term for a real production quality type of website, right? Okay. All right, so I won't go through all this. I mean, I swear, like, it sucks, make it pop, right? It sucks, make it pop. Sometimes you need to guide it a little bit more. No, that really sucks. Like, see, attach screenshot for why it sucks. Make it subtle. It should pop. But be subtle, right? I'm kind of messing around with it here, but you kind of get the idea, which is like, that sucks, make it pop. Just keep going and see what happens. These tools are actually pretty good about understanding design, and I won't say all tools, but Sonnet specifically, Sonnet 3.5 new, whatever, is so good at just like giving you something that is pretty nice, and the other thing too that you'll see is some of these things have little bit of animation here. I think it's is it our navigation that I really like. It's not showing up there, but I'll show you. I'm just going to jump over to the big reveal and kind of show you what this thing looks like. And again, I didn't take that much time. This is I spent some time playing around with some fonts. I didn't really like the new fonts, but anyway, let me just show you here. This was about an hour's worth of just back and forth. Again, no coding, no designer. I'm not a designer. You can see I didn't even give much guidance here. And so here was what we had originally. Again, basic, it kind of works, but it's like the same old generic thing that you see all the time, kind of default Tailwind style. And then here's our new dashboard, right? You can see here, it's kind of got this, just like a nice header here. We have a little bit of nice animations. Let me see if I can get a little bit of a refresh. You get, just these subtle things. It's not over the top. It's just enough to show the polish to make it just a little bit nicer. You notice in the background here, we have this very subtle gradient kind of going left to right. I really like that, kind of how the background kind of fades off a little bit here. Let's see what we got here. So we have full dark mode, right? We got this for free. This is so nice. I love it. This is awesome. The other thing we have, of course, it's responsive. Yay, this takes forever. I hate doing responsive design. Even has a little menu. My homepage is terrible. I don't have anything there. But you can see it's got little animations, right? You can like click on these. I don't have my drag and drop wired up yet, but look at this, right? I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy with this. Okay, let's go over to the Storybook. You can see how it looks, with different states. So like if it's empty, you get these nice, clean, empty states here, which is nice. This is actually really useful to kind of see this. I want to check on this. It looks like maybe it got hard-coded here, so we're gonna have to fix that. Little things, right? This isn't gonna be perfect first shot, but gosh, how useful is this? Let's go full screen on this thing. You got this sample data in here. You got these little icons. You could collapse these if you wanted to. You can switch this to list mode. Again, this isn't wired up yet, but it just gives your users a chance to look at this, give you feedback. Business owners can give you feedback, and you can make the changes here before you've gone through and like wired everything up. And again, this is like a day and not a week or longer, okay? The faster you can get this in front of people who are gonna actually use it, the better the response is gonna be, and the better the final product is going to be. Even if they come to this and say, oh, Kevin, this is terrible, I don't like any of this, like, It sucks. Like go make it pop, right? You can toss all this. Try it again. It takes a day, right? You're not trapped in this thing where you've got this sunk cost of months and whatever, okay? Now, again, this is not replacing designers. I love designers. Designers are amazing. A good designer who's got excellent skills with Figma, if you watch what they're doing, it's mind-blowing to me. I have the utmost respect for that. But for you as a developer, I actually do think it is important as we start to move into this new world where AI is going to start being more and more and more prevalent and relevant to your job. And I'm a firm believer of the phrase that AI is not going to take your job. An AI engineer who knows how to use these tools really well, they might, okay? I want you to be that person. I don't want you to be the one sitting on the sidelines complaining about it doesn't work for me. Oh, I don't know how to do design. Oh, I can't do this, that. Don't know how to work with people. I want to teach you some of these things. This isn't just coding. It's about a process for how to kind of become more of a well-rounded engineer, to learn some of these skills, these softer skills around a little bit of design, a little bit of kind of working with a business owner and getting fast feedback and being able to rapidly prototype before you go out and spend a week or two building a fully functioned, beautifully crafted, coded application, only to have that user come back and say, "Yeah, missed the mark. I need to redo this whole thing." Okay, so I hope this is helpful for you guys. For the next one, I know we haven't actually done any real underlying coding yet. And honestly, I'm just turning on my laptop as I'm working on a real project here this week. So my next step in my project is to actually wire this thing up. So we'll go through that coming up soon. You guys like this? Go ahead and subscribe. If some of this doesn't make sense or you're not quite sure how I got to this point, I've got a few other videos. Go ahead and watch some of those, and I'll see you soon.